There's one thing almost nobody talks about. Usually, everything gets blamed on laziness. You're just lazy, pull yourself together, start small, break the task into little steps, and all that kind of stuff. Millions of videos have been made about this, millions of articles have been written, and it kind of sounds logical, but I don't think that's the point at all. Because sometimes a person isn't lazy, they want it. They have the desire. They're genuinely burning with some idea. It lives in their head for months, even years. And still, they never get started on it. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Picture an ordinary person. They have a job, not exactly a dream job, but a normal one, stable. They make enough money, not luxury, but not struggling either. They live calmly, without any upheavals. A smooth, predictable life, no highs, but no lows either. And this person has an idea, for example, to start a YouTube channel, to make something of their own, something interesting. They even already know what it's going to be about. They have a vision. The idea warms them. They come back to it again and again, but they never get started on it. And here you'll think, well, obviously they're scared. Scared to open the editing software for the first time. Scared it'll turn out bad. Scared the first video will be clumsy, that nobody will watch it, that they'll be laughed at. A classic, the perfectionism syndrome. You want everything to be beautiful right away, and since it won't work out right away, it's better not to start at all. And it kind of seems true, partly, but that's just the surface. The real reason is deeper, and it's far less pleasant. Look, they're not putting the idea off because they're afraid of ruining it. They're putting it off because to them, it's a backup exit. Do you get it? They're not keeping this idea as a task that needs to be done. They're keeping it as a lifebuoy, as a stash, as a parachute strapped to their back in case life goes off the rails. In their head, it sounds something like this. Well, right now I have a job, everything's fine. But if it all suddenly collapses, that's when I'll get into YouTube. And then it'll definitely work out. Other people managed it, so I can too. And that's the whole trap. They're not preserving the idea in order to do it someday. They're preserving it to reassure themselves, to keep living with a calm mind. Because as long as the idea lies untouched, it's perfect. It hasn't failed yet. It can still change everything. It's a safety cushion for the psyche. Picture the scene. A person sitting on the couch after work, tired, and in their head, a beautiful dream. They see themselves as a successful blogger. They see the numbers. They see the comments. They see how it all worked out. And it gives them a warm feeling. They smile and they do nothing. They shelve that thought until tomorrow, and tomorrow again. The dream works like a painkiller, not like a goal, but like a pill. And here it's important to understand the difference between a dream and a project. These are different things. A project requires contact with reality. A dream doesn't. A project becomes messy, clumsy, uncomfortable. A dream stays beautiful. A project can be failed. A dream can't. And that's exactly why a dream is so convenient to keep. It will never let you down, simply because you've never put it to the test. Now, the most important part. They think this backup parachute will save them one day, that a dark day will come, they'll pull the ripcord, and it'll all open up. But that's not how it works, because the moment when everything collapses is the worst possible moment to start. When you've lost your job, when there's no money, when there's panic, when every single day counts, you're not going to calmly learn editing, experiment, shoot 20 bad videos before a good one. You need money now, and an idea that has to be nurtured over months won't save you. It'll finish you off. And at that very moment, when the parachute is supposed to open, it doesn't open. The idea doesn't come to life. It burns up. Because it turns out it wasn't a stash at all. It was an illusion. A beautiful story a person told themselves to avoid looking real life in the eye. And this isn't just about YouTube. This is about everything. Take a person who dreams for years of starting their own business. Once I save up a cushion. Then, once I wait for the right moment. Then, once I quit, then I'll definitely get into it. 5 years pass. 10. They're still just about to. Because to them, the business isn't a plan. It's also a backup box. A dream that's nice to have, but scary to touch. Because as long as it stays untouched, it hasn't failed. I know the story of one person. Everything was going well for them. A job, income higher than expenses, stability, and a whole pile of ideas in their head. YouTube, crypto, something else. They were hoarding them for years, and they never got started on anything. Not because there was no time, there was time. Not because they were scared, but because all of it lay there like insurance. If anything happens, I'll get into it. And then the anything happened. They changed a lot in their life, and the stability was gone. No more income. And there it was, the very moment everything had been saved up for. And you know what? It turned out that right now, dealing with it was 100 times harder than when everything was fine. Because before, there was resource, calm, time. And now, only pressure. And that's the whole truth about the backup parachute. And here's the main deception. A real idea almost always begins not with inspiration, but with disappointment. With the moment you look at your first clumsy attempt and think, this isn't at all what was in my head. But at least now it exists, and it can be improved. And a fantasy can't be improved, it can only be preserved. And here you're probably expecting me to say, so start right now, don't put it off, take action. But I won't. Because the honest answer is this: there is no ready made solution. I can't give you a pill, nobody can. No video, no coach, no book will make you move from where you are until you decide it yourself. That moment simply has to come. The moment when you either take the idea out of the box and start doing it for real, with mistakes, with a clumsy first result, or it just keeps lying there until one day it burns up for good. And nobody will lead you there by the hand. Not me, not anyone else, only you yourself. The only thing I can do is call things by their real names, so that you at least honestly answer yourself one question. Are you really going to do it, or are you just keeping it so that living is a little less scary? Because most likely this isn't a backup plan, it's a backup life, which most likely doesn't exist.